Here we go. We're live, ladies. After a few minor issues,
Just a few.
just a few. So, welcome to Café Chats. This is our second episode. Basically, we're having people on, just have a chit chat and share stuff and whatever. So, I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7.
I'm Liz, also known as Jaded Knitter.
And our guest is
Bente, also known as Arctic Crafts.
awesome.
And I'm not drinking coffee.
I am.
I'm an old lady, so I can't sleep if I drink coffee.
Oh, it's a double shot caramel macchiato, and I blame Leanne.
I'm drinking now, but it's also still the middle of the day-ish here. So.
Yep.
When are we today? The 24th of April.
Yep. Yeah. And it's 7 p.m. here, and it's
light
outside.
Does it keep getting lighter and lighter now as you go forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in July, we have the midnight sun. Starts in, I think, end of June. We get the midnight sun where it doesn't set at all.
Oh, that's got to wreak havoc on your system.
I'm used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have blackout.
Well, yeah, I would think
drapes
so.
In the bedroom.
That's kind of necessity at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the light proof, I think they called it. It's normal curtains, but they have this special fabric on the back that doesn't let any light through.
Yeah.
So get used to it. It's actually worse but people get this wrong because they think we don't have daylight in winter, but we do.
Yeah.
We just don't have sun, but we have daylight. You have to go to Svalbard to have dark.
And did you say
dark
that
all the time?
The mountain blocks the sun?
We actually get the sun before they do in town because we're fortunate we have this crack in the mountain.
Okay.
And the sun it's like the pharaohs and their sun temples.
Oh.
It comes up we have this V in the mountain, so it hits us about 3 weeks before it hits the town.
Oh.
So we get the sun before them.
That's cool. I just want the leaves to bloom in the backyard so I don't have to look at neighbors anymore.
It's been snowing here for a couple
They pull
of days.
in their driveway and their lights shine right into our house through the trees. So
we had the neighbor chop down our trees last summer.
Oh, I remember that.
He just went crazy with his chainsaw. And I heard a chainsaw real close to the house, and I thought, what's going on? And when I get out on the patio, there was this guy chopping down my trees. So I stopped him. I said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" "I'm just clearing my property." And I said, "You're practically standing in my flower bed. Do you still think you're on your property?"
Oh, is that when Thor came out and then they ended up?
Because he knew him, it turns out. And I was so mad. But because I had my youngest son with me, I didn't go ballistic. I just breathe. Excuse me, but if I hadn't had Alan there, I would have torn his head off, probably. But I told him, you don't touch another tree. We have one tree left on that side of the house. Don't touch that tree, and you clear the property when you're done. Remove everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day I went and I picked up all the twigs and branches that he had left behind and just dumped them on his property.
Subtle hint.
But I think it's really we had this. It looked almost like a row of rowan trees that were growing from the carport. So we had the neighbors over us couldn't see in on our patio. No, they can see everywhere. They can see down on our patio, and I hate
Thor
that.
to keep his clothes on.
He's not outside in summer.
No.
He stays indoors all summer.
Yeah.
He refuses. He can come out if I promise him barbecue. Oh. He gets out, he sits down for an hour, and when he's finished eating, he goes inside again.
So, Bente, when did you start knitting?
I think I was 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah, because when I grew up, and it's not normal now, but when I grew up, we sort of learned how to knit in school.
Okay.
So if you didn't already know how to knit when you started school, you learned during the first couple of years of school. I could knit already when I started school. But I didn't knit my first sweater until I was 13.
13.
But that was because my mother insisted. She said, you know how to knit. I don't want to knit you that sweater. You have to knit it yourself. And it was color work. Color work.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. 3 colors. I actually came across that pattern.
Oh, did you?
The other day. Yeah, I still have the pattern from that sweater.
Well, if nobody tells you can't do it.
No, she said, you know how to knit. It's only knits and purls.
Mm-hmm.
And she bought me the yarn and she bought me the pattern. And then my sister didn't want to be any worse. So she also knitted the same sweater, but in different colors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she ever finished hers.
Oh.
And my mother refused to finish it for her. So I knit my first sweater when I was 13. And then I kept on knitting more or less constantly until I was about 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started knitting again for real about 10 years ago. And then I discovered, a few years back, I discovered Ravelry. And I discovered knitting podcasts. And suddenly knitting wasn't a hobby anymore, but it was a lifestyle. But I've always knitted. If I needed some garment or something, I knitted it myself. So I've always knit. I didn't stop knitting for 20 years. I still kept knitting, but it wasn't a hobby.
Yeah.
It was something you had to do. You had to knit a pair of socks. And if you didn't know what to give your father for Christmas, you knit him a hat.
Mm.
But it wasn't like I had a yarn stash or anything.
No.
And now I have a yarn stash.
Yeah, so do I.
Not only my own yarn stash, but I have
my shelving units in the bedroom now. So Sean's like, you can literally walk into the room and you've got a yarn store.
I literally have a yarn store.
I know you do.
Bedroom. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I know Selma knit her first sweater. I think she was 15 and it was out of mohair. Surprise.
That was probably when mohair was big, because I knit myself 2 mohair sweaters on big needles when I was about 17, 18.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old Selma is, but this was the mid 80s.
I think she's 3 years older than me. So
this was the mid 80s, 84, 85, 86.
Yeah.
During those days.
Yeah.
I think it was I think I knit it was the year I graduated high school, I think. And that was 84. And everybody was it was oversized mohair sweaters. You knit them in the night. 10 millimeter needles and mohair. I remember one of mine was striped in candy colors. Pink and turquoise.
Well, you haven't changed much then.
Now, that's weird, because when I grew up, I was a tomboy. I climbed trees and I got into fights. But then I became really grown up, and suddenly I'm a pink princess.
See,
I'm not sure what happened.
I did the whole tomboy thing.
Me too.
In the tree, but I did it in a skirt because I was going to be the princess while doing the tomboy.
And I think maybe if I had a daughter, I would be cured that way. But I have 2 sons, so I didn't have somebody I could dress up as a pink princess. So
well, you can till a certain age.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
My daughter used to dress up my son, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about all, like, how knitting has just exploded, and indie dyers and all that stuff? Like,
so I was late to the party.
mm-hmm.
When it comes to both hand-dyed yarns and podcasts and everything. I was late to the party because I always knitted, so I never thought of that as a lifestyle and as something happening, as something trendy, because for me in Norway, everybody just knits. It's something you know how to do. And if you need to knit somebody a sweater, you go to the yarn store, you buy the yarn and you knit the sweater. And done. You don't post your pictures. You don't post pictures of it online, and you just knit the sweater and give it away.
Done.
And I was sitting at home, and I was so I don't remember where I saw it. I think it might have been on Facebook. And the first podcast episode I ever saw was the Crafty Toads. Those two ladies were my first knitting podcast, the Crafty Toads. So and I started to see all this hand-dyed yarn, and it was so gorgeous, and I got a shock when I checked the prices, and I decided I started Knit Crate. My first hand-dyed skein of yarn was a Knit Crate. Yeah, I started Knit Crate with sock yarn. So I got the first skein of hand-dyed yarn, and then I won a giveaway. I knit a pair of socks with I think it was Regia yarn or something, and I posted it in the Grocery Girls Sock Bash.
Oh yes.
And I won a prize, and I won a skein of hand-dyed yarn, and I didn't use that skein for 2 years, but finally I decided I have to use this yarn. And then I saw on YouTube, I saw somebody talking about dyeing yarn with food coloring. Because because I'm me, and because I'm creative, and always looking for new ways of having fun with
coloring and the Kool-Aid.
I decided if it's hand-dyed yarn, I have hands.
Yeah.
I can get yarn. I can probably dye yarn.
Yeah.
But I checked what I needed, and then I saw that if you dyed yarn with food coloring or Kool-Aid, you didn't need special equipment. You could use the pots you normally cook in.
Because it's food grade.
Yeah. So I bought some cheap undyed yarn, and I ordered some Kool-Aid. And I had loads
Took the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I still have Kool-Aid.
I didn't drink it. And I still have Kool-Aid.
A pack.
I still have Kool-Aid as well.
And I still have some, and it's like
hubby says I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. So I still have the Kool-Aid. It's probably expired by now.
It's probably expired, but all mine came from the US because they had different flavors than we had.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like Twinkies.
I don't know what flavors there are. I just looked at the colors. I wanted the right colors. I don't care what they taste like. Because that wasn't interesting. So, but then I just this is funny. Maybe I should try to do this properly. And then I decided, okay, I can buy a pot that I'm just going to do for dyeing yarn, and I can buy it was a starter pack with tiny jars of acid dye.
Yeah.
So I bought that, and I decided I was going to use vinegar, because that I could get that at the supermarket. And then I started dyeing with acid dyes, and that was something completely different.
Oh yeah.
Using Kool-Aid.
So Kool-Aid was the gateway drug.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I drank the Kool-Aid.
And I might have given her a little push.
Yeah, and then I had dyed.
I blame it on David's tea, because we met on Instagram. You commented on a picture I put up of David's tea, something about I wish I could get that here.
Yeah, I think it was Kate of Hawthorne Cottage Craft that posted the picture that you had sent her some David's tea. And I commented under that post, oh, I wish I could get some, because I got David's tea. I got one David's tea bag from the Grocery Girls, and it was the nicest tea I had ever had. And I tried to get it online, but nope, they only ship to Canada and the US. So and when I think I dyed up a few skeins of with acid dye, and you said that you're a natural, you should start an Etsy shop, and I said, are you crazy? Do you think anybody would want to buy something I make?
Things and people saying I'm crazy, like Selma, would you like to podcast with me? No.
I mean, I think it's a self-confidence issue with me, because and imposter syndrome. Why would somebody pay me for my yarn when there are loads of talented people out there that's much more talented than me and make much more beautiful yarn than me? So I just but then I registered on Etsy, and they said they recommended that you have at least 10 items before you open your shop.
Yeah.
So I dyed up. I think I had 12 skeins when I started the shop, and I checked earlier today because you said we were going to talk about this. So I checked and I registered on Etsy in October 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and I opened my shop in the middle of January 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and you were my first customer.
Of
You ought to
course.
be my first customer because it was your fault that I opened the shop.
You know how much of your yarn I have?
Uh, I think you have. You spent quite a lot of money in my shop, so I'm not
It's
complaining.
fine. I have 18,000 yards of Arctic crafts and I still have more coming. Sean's like, I'm like, do you want to know how many yards per yarn I have? He's like, no.
I probably have more though,
Well, yes, of course.
because I have.
Go anywhere.
Yeah, because I looked at Instagram and you sent me pink and black yarn with chocolate, and that was May 2018. I still have those.
That was before I knew you. I sent you pink yarn. Sorry.
Oh, was it?
I didn't know you didn't like pink.
I'm going to
And
use
I
it
sent
for
you the pink
something.
yarn. Yeah. I decided pink and black. That will make some
They'll-
good color work hat or something. So
I think they'll
just
make
sent
nice
you.
mitts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I
And
mean,
then I got addicted to the chocolate.
it'll-
Hmm?
or next time I come up, it'll,
End up in your shirt.
Yep.
Well, the yarn is in the spare bedroom. You just have to know what bin it's in.
Yeah. That's
I don't
that's
know
just
what
it.
it's in. I'll just go through them all.
It's also a way to de-stash. Because Liz, you don't have any yarn yourself, right?
No,
Yeah, none.
That's, that's what I figured. You don't have any yarn.
no. She cleaned us both out. Oh boy. So that was the first podcast you watched, and then you started dying.
Yeah.
And then that's just like whole new world, right?
Yeah. Because I still knit with commercial yarn, because I haven't become a yarn snob or anything.
It comes in handy.
I'm knitting a sweater now in cotton acrylic blend,
Mhm.
because I wanted a cotton sweater, but I don't like knitting sweaters with 100% cotton,
No,
because
they drag.
it's heavy and I think it feels hard.
Mm.
So this is really soft, and it's a cotton acrylic blend.
Mhm.
It might get too warm. So I'm when I finished it, if I figure it, I wanted to make it a long sleeve sweater and use it in winter instead, I just order another, because this is commercial yarn.
Mhm.
I don't think there will be any problem with buy lots and stuff
No.
like that. So I can
Well, like my
buy an
daughter's
extra.
sweater, I'm like, I need to make her something she can wash and dry because
Yeah.
it's so
I
soft.
still don't give away hand dyed socks made from hand dyed yarn to just anybody.
I don't have any.
My closest family gets socks made from hand dyed yarn, and hubby is no problem, because I'm the one washing his socks. So I'm not afraid of him throwing them in the washing
Mhm.
machine or something. But both my son, Isak and Erlend, both my sons, they get socks made from hand dyed yarn. But Erlend has decided he doesn't want any more hand knit socks.
Oh,
So I'm just Isak never wanted any hand knit socks until I gave him his first pair made from fingering sock yarn. Because then he could use them in normal shoes.
yeah.
He's one of those people that does use the same shoes all year round. Even though he lives in Tromsø and it's about 2 meters of snow, he wears the same shoes all year round.
Well, I've knit my daughter several pairs, and I basically told her, because when she moved out, I'm like, bring the socks here. I will wash them for you. Because, she might have shrunk a pair or two.
I discovered one of the first pairs I knit with hand-dyed yarn. I bought some yarn. I think it was Corner of Craft chromatic yarns, and it said superwash. And I always washed wool socks in the wool cycle in the washing machine, and then threw them in the wool setting on the tumble dryer. So I did the same with the socks I made from chromatic yarns. They didn't felt at all, but the
Yeah.
color was totally different.
All mine.
It
Well,
went from purple to lilac. So loads of the color vanished.
yeah.
So that's my main reason for not throwing hand-dyed anything in the washing machine,
No.
because I'm afraid the colors will fade.
Well, with the amount of socks we have, yeah, I hand wash them, but we have a system now because I'm like, you have just as many as I do. You're helping me with this.
I tried, because we have, as you say, we have loads of socks, knitted socks, and we both of us use hand knit socks all year round. The only difference is in summer I use shorties, but
Okay.
they're still wool socks.
Mhm.
So I wash them in soak. I
Can't wear shorty socks. It just, I don't know what it is. Like I could never wear those ones with the pom-poms at the back when we were young. The socks with the little pom-pom.
I figured out how to make knit shorty socks that doesn't slip down your heel.
Oh, well, see, there's that.
I use 2mm needles for the
Tighter.
ribbing. 2mm needles for the ribbing, and then I go straight to the heel with 2.25mm needles. They don't slip. That's all you need to do. You have to use a smaller needle for the ribbing because it pulls it together at the top. But the last time I washed socks, I used the washing machine.
I did it
on the
once
wool
or twice,
cycle.
and just the washer on delicate setting, it started to felt one of his pairs of socks, and I'm like, yeah, no, not happening.
Because I don't think I feel like they don't get properly cleaned if I use soak. I don't think they look clean enough afterwards. So I gather up because I have a full tub of socks that I never used. But anyway, we have so many pairs of socks in this house that I don't have to wash 1 or 2 pairs. I can wait until we have a few pairs that needs to be washed, and then I can throw just socks in the washing machine on a short cycle. So that's what I've started doing now, because I realized that we have enough socks in this house. I don't have to wash them all the time.
I think I have enough to wear 1 pair a day for 3 weeks. I wonder how that happened. 7 or 8 pairs from somebody.
I'm always trying to give away socks. I keep knitting socks. I knit socks all the time
because they're easy and portable, and you can just.
I've even started selling them on Etsy.
Have you sold any?
No.
Okay.
Because I think people want to knit their own socks. And the Fiber Festival I'm participating in now in May.
Yes, the Fiber Festival. Tell us all about that.
Well, Anne Frost, I'm not sure if you know who she is.
I've heard of her.
She has the podcast I Thought I Knew How.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been interviewed on Christy Glass about this Fiber Festival, not now, but for the last one, I think. And she started, the first one was in the autumn of 2020, I think.
Oh, she created the festival?
Because she started the festival because of the pandemic.
Okay.
Because she wanted to support all the indie dyers all around the world that couldn't go to festivals and were losing a lot of money. And the way she does it, it's not only yarn, it's a fiber festival. It's called the Online International Fiber Festival. And every time there's 6 different regions. And one of the regions in this festival was Norway. So what she did, she went into Etsy and she just searched for Norwegian hand dyers. And she contacted me, so I was sort of headhunted because she loved my yarn, and she also loved that I was breed specific. That I have Corriedale, I have Polldale, I have Merino, and now I have BFL. So I have 4 different breeds.
Yeah.
And she thought that was really cool. And she loved my yarn, so she just invited me, do you want to join the festival? And it's free to participate for the vendors.
Already registered.
It's also free to participate for the other people. The only thing, you have to have a subscription to Craftsy to participate in the classes.
Yeah.
That's all I know. You have to have a membership. So you have to pay to join Craftsy if you want to
I have
the workshops. So, and it's also cultural. So the vendors also contribute something else. So I did a talk about my bunad.
Yeah.
So that's going to be part of day 3 when Norway is. So Norway is day 3. May 3rd
Yeah.
is Norway. But of course, the marketplace is the same all week.
Yeah. Well, Amanda.
Norway is getting highlighted.
Amanda from Sweet Skein of Mine is in the Atlantic.
Yeah, Nitswag is also in the American South.
Yeah.
And then you have Morocco and you have Poland, I think.
Wow.
But if you go to because now the website is up.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So now you can go in there and Anne Frost has started putting things up on the website. And I think April 28th is the first time something is happening. But she's doing a podcast every morning. So day 3, she's going to talk about the Norwegian dyers, I think.
Mhm.
And I sent her a skein to show off. And I'm also having a giveaway.
Mhm.
She's doing all that stuff. All I had to do was send her a picture of what I'm giving away, and then she's doing the giveaway.
Wow.
So
I've been seeing their posts on Instagram. It looks very interesting.
Yeah. So I hopefully I earn more money than I use during that week. I might spend some money as well.
Really?
We'll see. I've been to one live marketplace since I started the shop, and that's not. I opened my shop in January 2019, and a year later, something happened that made it impossible for me to sell my yarn anywhere but online. And because the mail system has, for periods of time, I hadn't been able to send yarn to the US, and then it was Canada, and for a time there was Australia. I couldn't send yarn to Australia, and 90% of my sales are to the US and Canada. So that was sort of difficult.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go to 2 marketplaces last year. There was this Christmas market.
Yeah.
And then there was a summer festival, and I was supposed to vend at both. But now the local council has gotten some money from the Norwegian government, and they're supposed to portion it out to small businesses and people like me I don't make enough money to be part of the official care package for the business for the corporate people in Norway. So they had to do it another way. I don't have to prove that I didn't make this money. So what I did, I said that I made this much when I actually went to that market. So I would think I would make the same amount the year after. So that's what I've used as a baseline. So let's see if I get any money from them. So, but I was fortunate that I'm working from home and I have my shop online. So things hasn't changed that much for me, basically.
Because you were a substitute teacher before?
Yeah, I was a substitute teacher in the high school. I used to work, my profession is typographer and graphic designer. That's my profession. But I haven't worked in that profession since 2000.
Oh, wow.
The year my youngest son was born. And since then, I've done a little bit of everything. I've been working in a window factory. I've been working in a supermarket. And I have been a substitute teacher in the local high school. And that was kind of funny because the first day I went there, we agreed that I can teach English, and I can teach Norwegian, and I can teach social sciences. But what I didn't want was theoretical mathematicians. You know, the difficult kind, where you have this,
Liz's face is like, wow.
So because natural sciences like biology, chemistry, okay, but not maths and not Russian, because Russian. I don't know a word of Russian.
What did they give you?
I think the second assignment I got was maths.
Of course.
And a few days later, I was asked if I could do a German class. And the thing I did when I come into the class, I said in German that I don't speak German. In German. And then I said in Norwegian, so if you need any help, I'm not the right person. But when I was sent into class, that kind of class, it was always to babysit. They had assignments, they had stuff they had needed to work on.
I was just be an adult in the room.
Yeah, I was just being the adult in the room. I don't know what they were thinking, because I'm never the adult in the room. I have those experiences sometimes when I and then I look around and I think, oh, I'm supposed to be the adult in this room. Okay.
You look around for the more adult.
Yes.
Yeah, I look around.
And you come back to yourself going, oh.
Where is the person responsible here? Oh, it's me. Oh, excuse me.
Never happened, right, Liz?
Yeah, that's what I keep saying to people, because hubby is 16 years younger than me, but he's the adult in the relationship, and it has been all the time. I don't think I have grown up yet. And if I haven't grown up yet now, I think it's too late.
It is a little.
I'm going to grow up.
Yeah, I think we all hit a point where it's like, we've gone from we should be an adult to we can now fall into that whole we're a little old lady.
Yeah.
Which,
And I've fallen into the point since I was 50 that I don't give a crap. I'm going to say, well, I've always said how I feel, but I don't put up with any more bullshit. I'm just like.
No, I'm not responsible for anybody anymore, except for myself, because none of my sons live with me anymore. I have 3 cats. But hubby is a really anxious cat father, so I don't have to worry about the cats because he worries too much about the cats. So I only have to think about myself.
He even has a mug to prove it.
Yeah, that you made him. Geography teacher by day, cat lover by night. You should use that mug at work. You should take it to the office with him. But he hasn't been a lot to the office, so. Yeah. He still has days where he's not in, because now they only go to work if they actually have to physically teach a class.
Okay. The rest is online.
Otherwise they work from home. Mm-hmm. So he still isn't back. But he has a lot of classes in. We have this I'm not sure what you call this in English, but in the high schools here you have a special subjects for those who want to become nurses or caretakers and stuff like that. So he teaches English in a lot of those classes this year, and they are now in the hospital and doing practice. Yeah, so he doesn't have to go to work almost. Yeah, because they don't. He doesn't have to teach any classes. What you call it in English?
Trades.
In Norwegian. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
It's because he teaches geography, human rights, American politics, social sciences,
English.
English and English and social sciences in English. But human rights, and you can imagine that the 4 years Donald Trump was president, he was not short of subjects to talk about in American politics.
Yeah.
And after the election,
he's also a YouTube star.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
The music video.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great fun. They actually and it went viral. Mm-hmm. If you Google that music video, afterwards it popped up in places like Thailand, China, and not China, but Hong Kong. Mm. Not China, of course, because they can't. No, they wouldn't show up in China, but Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. So it went viral. So that was and one of the things that the record company shut them down on YouTube. But the singer in the band that made the song
Mhm.
told them it was okay because he thought it was hilarious. So he said, let them use the song, put it up again. So actually the band said it was okay.
And what's the song? What's the video name again?
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, Liz, it's just hilarious.
You could link it down below.
Yes. He plays a thug.
Yeah. Hubby is the gangster.
Yeah.
He was the only one that dressed up for it. But then he's the star of the video because he was the only one that actually, and the one in the start of the video that sort of plays the piano, he actually knows how to play the piano.
Oh,
So he
yeah.
wasn't just. So it was great fun. I was kind of proud of him afterwards.
It's an awesome video.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I kept
I
looking at it
think
going, that's
they
the
got to know-
quiet man I know.
they got an award for it as well, and he was the only one that was sober as well.
Oh, jeez.
There were quite a few of those 3-liter boxes, with the red wine and white
Yeah.
wine. Yeah, it was it was a lot of wine, but he's teetotal, so he didn't drink. So he was the only one that was sober.
Who's crazier, the one who did it sober?
Yeah, and he was the only one that looked kind of dangerous as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the gangster was the only sober person in the whole video.
That's hilarious. So you have some make-alongs going on, right?
Yeah, I have two now. I have the year-long make-along where people that make stuff with my yarn. I have quarterly drawings, and the price is the same every time. It's a skein of their choice from my shop. And then I have the red, white, and blue make-along that's running now. That ends May 17th.
17th, right?
Yeah, because that's Norway's Constitution Day, and our flag is red, white, and blue. And I was talking to one of my American customers, and she said it's perfect because she wanted to make herself a red, white, and blue shawl for 4th of July.
And it works.
So she just started a bit earlier so she can join my make-along. And you have to use at least 2 of the colors to enter, but all 3 makes a double entry.
Yeah.
So if you make something, you don't have to be only red, white, and blue. As I said on my podcast, if you knit a Fair Isle sweater with 10 different colors, if 3 of them are red, white, and blue, you can enter. And then I'm starting something big June 1st.
Talk about that. I'm excited.
Arctic Summer of Socks.
I love that name.
Yeah, I know sock knit-alongs in summer. That's not particular or original, but I think I'm going to make a lot out of this. I'm going to have 3 price drawings, and it's going to be from June 1st to August 31st. And I'm having a price drawing at the end of June, and a price drawing at the end of July, and a price drawing at the end of August, and that's going to be a grand price drawing. So it's going to be 3 prizes.
And I can see the wheels in Liz's head are turning, going, what socks? I'm like, I could just see the look on her face.
And I'm doing the entire thread every time. So if you put in a pair of socks in June, you have 3 chances for winning on that pair of socks. And of course, if you keep knitting socks all summer.
This is just one FO thread for the 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to draw.
Look at her face. I can tell.
Yeah, I'm like mentally going through. Okay.
I knew you were.
The only thing I won't accept are baby socks. Shorties are all right. Shorties for children is also okay, but not baby socks because those you knit in half an hour.
I'm starting to see the smoke, Liz. You know when you've known someone long enough that you can tell what they're thinking?
Yep. Yeah.
And I maybe even next year I might even get pins or something. Because I want this Arctic Summer of Socks. I want that to be
a yearly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I love knitting socks, and in summer that's almost the only thing I knit. Because they're portable, you can put them in your purse and take them anywhere. They're not big and so it's not too hot to sit outside and knit on a pair of socks. So that's a Arctic summer of socks.
And you have plans for the holidays?
Yep. Actually, May 1st, I'm putting up my advents.
Mhm.
And I've been wanting, because I love opening the yarn advent calendars. And this year I'm actually getting a professional one, because hubby said he hates buying me a Christmas present because he never knows what to get me. And I was saying that too bad I can't afford an advent calendar, because I really wanted Beehive's yarn advent. And he says, "Is that an acceptable Christmas present?" And I said, yes. So he said, "Okay, I'll buy you an advent calendar. I don't have to worry about what to get you for Christmas." So I have ordered my Beehive Yarns advent calendar.
Nice.
But my advent is going to be based on the Norwegian advent tradition, where we
It's
mark the
kinda
first,
nice.
we mark the Sundays of Advent.
Mhm.
So my advent calendar is going to be 4 skeins, 50-gram skeins of yarn, one for each Sunday in Advent.
Mhm.
And they're going to be color coordinated. So they're going to, you can use them together in the project. And then I'm also doing kind of a Christmas Eve cast on thing, because it's going to be 1 skein of sock yarn, and Jibiro Sues is making bags and progress keepers to go with it.
Mhm.
So you can either buy only the advent calendar or only the Christmas Eve cast on, or you can buy everything. And I think I'm going to knock off the price if you buy everything as one order
Mhm.
instead of buying them separately. I'm probably going to put them up again. The reason why I'm putting them up as early as this is because I'm a small batch dyer and I don't have a lot of storage space.
Yeah.
So I checked with my supplier. Is it possible for you to deliver me 50-gram skeins of Poledale? Because Poledale is my yarn. It's kind of my workhorse
Your
yarn.
signature.
Yeah. And he said, not a problem. So what I'm doing, I'm putting up the advents May 1st. June 1st, I'm taking them down and I'm ordering the amount of yarn I need. But I'm going to order more so I can put up a new later in the summer, when I figure out how much more yarn, how quickly can I do this? So I can put up a few more
Mhm.
later in the summer or something. But I have to be really early, because I have to get the yarn from my supplier. He's in England. It can take up to 4 weeks to get the
Mhm.
yarn. And then it can take almost 4 weeks or 5 weeks to get it out to people. And the first Sunday in Advent is the last Sunday in November this year.
Okay.
So I have to get it out middle of October. I have to ship this out. So that's why I have to be early.
Yeah. But there's a lot of dyers right now
Yeah, I know.
putting them out early because people are asking for them early. Because I think Ginger Snap did hers early April.
Yeah, I think it's still up because I think I saw it.
So, I mean, it's smart.
But I don't think I'm not sure if I'm going to sell as much. I'm probably selling 1, 2. I'm not sure. I had to stop with the Arctic season because I didn't sell any. Okay, yeah. I have sold 1.
Ew.
Okay. So, but the one, it's not going to coordinate with the Christmas Eve cast on thing. That's going to be more Christmassy.
That'll be
But
fun.
the Advent calendar won't be Christmas themed as such. It's going to be color coordinated.
And now she's not going to tell me squat because I'm buying one.
Nope. You're not getting any input or nothing, because
Be that way.
I can't get an inspiration from Sue, because then everything is ruined. The surprise is ruined.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'll probably do a Christmassy make along as well, because I love doing make alongs. So I
Well, you know how
probably
good I am. I was like, oh, she touched the cord.
And this was what was going on before we hit record.
Oh.
we'll leave that in. Don't you
Yeah.
think? We're leaving that in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't touch that.
I'm like, she touched the cord.
Yeah, I touched the cord. I can't touch the cord.
Oh, professional as usual.
Yeah, they're really professional. Like my podcasts, I'm very professional.
That's kind of awesome. But I knew, yeah, I'm buying one for sure. Because the only other one I bought, I mean, when you buy an advent calendar, it's a guess if you're going to like it. But I love your yarns and the way you do it, so I know I'll like it.
Unless I go for pink.
That doesn't
Pinks
matter.
and purples. It's like Sue. I remember Sue told me, because I'm not a big fan of green or brown. And then Sue told me, you have to have green. Not everybody. I like green. Loads of people like green. You have to have green. So I started dyeing greens from time to time to make Sue happy. So I'm going to start dyeing up Summer Meadow again,
Ooh.
because that's a summer color. That's green.
Well, see, when did I order? The April? I'm talking to Bente and I'm like, yeah, I got to order it. She's like, you already ordered yours? And I was like, I did? What? Wait a minute. And I added something to it. I'm just like, wow. I ordered a set of mini skeins that I don't have yet, because I think I have all your sets.
Yeah. The spring symphony.
Yeah.
You ordered the spring symphony. Yeah, I think you have all my mini sets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not doing another mini set, I think, until we'll see. I love dyeing up minis.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not I changed suppliers, and I have the supplier I have now. I have actually had him all along, because I met him in 2019 when me and Hubby went to Spring into Wool in Leeds,
Oh, okay.
because we went to York, and Hubby told me before we left, check if there's any yarn festivals while we're in England. I didn't think of that. Hubby thought of that. And then I discovered there was a yarn festival in Leeds, and we were in York, so it was about an hour and a half to drive. So we had a rental car and we drove there. And Andy was there from Wool Tops, and he was there selling undyed yarn, and he had some DK. And I knew that he was going to be at the festival because I had done my homework. I have gone into the festival online to check out what I wanted to, where I wanted to spend my money. And I saw he was going to be there, so I bought some undyed DK. And I sent him an email when I got home and tried to dye the DK. I said, I want more. Do you ship to Norway? And he told me he had several customers in Norway, so that was not a problem. And then he said, were you the one with the really colorful sweater? And I said, yeah, that's me. Because I was wearing my So Faded that are
Nice.
5 different colors. I knit that sweater for the Spring into Wool Festival. And he remembered me because of my sweater.
Yep.
And now I only have yarn from Andy, because he is also a small business.
So one of the Andes.
Yeah, he's an Andy. The other one is also an Andy. The bigger supplier, he's also an Andy.
Yeah, you had a few confusing emails.
Yeah, but because they have this from sheep to skein.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know exactly where everything came from. They know, so they do everything themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think the actual spinning is done in a mill.
Yeah.
They have a deal with, but he gets all the fleeces. He checks everything. So I love having to do with Andy, because he's got a good sense of humor, and so do I. So some of the emails that I send Andy and he sends back to me are adult rated. Something like that.
You're not a child then, are you? You're grown up.
I'm a grown up. I'm a grown up when I want to be.
Oh.
So I think he can. I wanted to ask him, the yarn that you sent me, that's a big thing now with barber poling.
Mm-hmm.
You have this black, they have this barber pole black, some places in the yarn. They call it, the big supplier has it. They call it zebra.
Oh, okay.
the undyed base is called Zebra. And I wanted to ask Andy if he had any possibility to make that yarn for me, because I wanted to try it, but I don't want to use the other supplier. I want to only use Andy.
Mm-hmm.
The other supplier is I bought my minis from them because Andy, for a time, Andy didn't have merino sock yarn and it didn't have minis. So I started ordering merino
Because
sock yarn
making
and
your own
minis from.
minis is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Andy told me that if you want to, I can make you 20-gram minis from Poledale. And he can also make me 50-gram skeins of Poledale. And then
Touch the wire again.
Oh dear.
There's always something.
Well, of course.
I promise you, I didn't touch the cable.
Oh, it has a mind of its own now.
Try closing some applications to improve performance. Okay.
Dear.
What are you knitting on, Liz?
I talk to Liz.
Oh, the V-back. Okay. I'm afraid to make it because I think it might be too much of a V because I would wear it in the front. But you did something to yours, right, Bente? You put a cord.
Yeah, I put a cotton thread in and used that to make the.
That top really looks good on you.
Yeah, I like wearing it with the V in front.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you would say, I have big girls.
Yes.
And then a V neck is more flattering than a scoop neck.
Yep.
So that's why I wear mine with the V in front.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
Because
versatile.
I think it looks better.
Isn't it in different weights too?
Yeah.
You sent that. Yeah.
I knit mine in fingering.
Mm-hmm.
Is it two different patterns then? One
No, I
pattern
think there's
for the
just
fingering and one for the
I
DK?
think there's different weights, right, Liz?
There's 2 weights and 3 different versions of the patterns. There's the fingering, a DK, and then one for doing it with scraps.
Okay, so I have the fingering pattern. In other words.
Mm-hmm.
I had to use I used a mini set and then I had to use one more yarn at the bottom.
It looks good though.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do because at the end of the sleeves I used Glacier, one of my colorways, because I had a 20-gram mini of Glacier.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just lying there, so I just snatched it and removed it from my Etsy shop and used it for the sleeves.
Sneaky.
That's a good thing about being a yarn dyer.
Mm-hmm.
But
It was like what
sometimes I get so bored of knitting with my own yarn because I need samples.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm knitting socks to make a sample because I
just
had this.
send them to Canada for sample knitting. I did
Yeah,
that.
you have a sock. You have the sock machine.
I know.
Machine.
I knit the cowl for you as a sample.
I was thinking about doing. I saw Fiber Nymph.
Mm-hmm.
She only knits this much.
Yeah,
she knits cylinders
like
that only this.
Inches.
Yeah.
Ashley.
So I was considering doing that. But
Ashley does that too.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have very loads of colorways,
mm-hmm.
and some of them I only dye up once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really a point to making a sample. If you know this colorway, I have 3 skeins, and when those skeins sell, I probably won't make it again. I haven't got a lot of. I have Maysal, I have Rock Garden, Vintage
Has to
Rose.
wave. I can see him. I'm like, I see him.
She can see you. So, the famous hobby. Never been on my podcast, but now he has been on yours. The famous hobby. I love Leslie at Not Quite Enough Yarn. She calls her husband himself on the
Himself?
podcast. Himself. Himself is going outside and himself. I love that. And she calls her dog for Madam. So Madam and himself have gone for a walk. Yeah.
He's going to be on the interwebs.
Yep. He's been already. He's been. More people have seen him on YouTube than either of us. Promise. I promise you. I'm not sure how many views that video had, but there are quite a few views on that video.
Yeah.
But he's watching an action movie or something. Now the sun is shining.
I have my blind closed, but I think it's still sunny out.
So I'm not sure if it's going to stop snowing.
151 000.
He checked. The video has 151,000 views.
Ooh, fancy. He's got to keep up with his numbers.
Yep. He's keeping up with my numbers. He was the one telling me when I pass. He knows how many followers I have on Instagram, how many followers I have on YouTube, how many subscribers I have. He's the one taking care of that.
Nice.
And my youngest son is kind of proud that his mother is a YouTuber.
I still remember when I started. Tyler, well, that was 2012. So he was what, 14, 13?
Mhm.
And he's like, you're going to be YouTube famous? I was like, well, I don't know about famous, but I will be on YouTube. And then when he looked, because we had like 2,000 something subscribers, he's like, you made it over 2,000? Oh, yeah, that's it. But to a 13, 14-year-old, he was just like, yeah.
So my oldest son, he's 26, and he when he grew up, that was actually a career option to become a YouTuber or an influencer, but he's doing my music on the podcast. I think he might have his own YouTube channel, but his music is on SoundCloud. He doesn't put anything up on YouTube, I think. So I have original music in my podcast.
Yeah. With Blue 13, is that what he's called?
Blue 14.
Oh, 14.
But he that was just something he came up with because he needed to have an artist's name when he joined SoundCloud. So he just blue is my favorite color, 14 is my lucky number, blue 14. Excuse the shaking, but not too slim cat just jumped up on the table. So we're kind of wobbly. And now he's sitting right in front of me watching his private parts.
Oh,
Nice.
Typical cat.
Yeah, in the middle of the dining table. Nice.
And you just put it up an episode yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. You podcast every 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks that you podcast, you have an update on the Sunday, right?
Yeah, so I have a shop update on Sunday.
And
8
what is the
PM.
time again? 8 p.m.
Central European summertime. So that's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock here.
Yeah. So I have, yeah. I started doing them every 2 weeks because I did podcast every Friday. Still the cat.
I just keep thinking you're saying yes. I don't edit this, by the way.
No, you don't. Probably not. So I I did a podcast every Friday and a shop update every Sunday, but then I figured, I want to have every other weekend off.
You want to have a life?
Because this weekend is a working weekend for me because yesterday I recorded and edited the podcast, and before that video actually is uploaded on YouTube. I spent all day doing this. I have to set up for the recording. I record it. It takes me almost 2 hours to edit.
Mhm.
It takes almost 2 hours to upload. And today I didn't take pictures for the shop update today, and I'm going to be sorry about that because then I have extra work to do tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to take all the pictures for the shop update and do the shop update, and I always take Monday off after one of these weekends. I always take Monday off. I don't dye yarn on Mondays when I've
You
had
need
one
to
of
have a
these weekends.
balance, right?
Yeah. And that's the beauty of working for myself, because my boss is really understanding. So if I need a day for my to do some, just take care of myself, I just do that.
Yeah.
The only person it affects is me. It's me. I'm the one that earns the money. Nobody's losing money other than me
Mhm.
if I don't dye the yarn. So
But if you don't take care of yourself, you don't have to be able to dye the yarn.
that's just it.
Mhm.
So that's one of the reasons I started working for myself, is that I have arthritis in one of my shoulders, and I thought if I am my own boss, I can just take it
Yeah.
easy and I can work when I feel like it. And the problem is I started, hopefully I thought maybe I can make some money doing this. So far I'm breaking even. But I gave myself 2 years.
Yeah.
And now it's been 2 years, a little over 2 years. And as long as I'm not losing money.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a hobby. Because
No,
I'm
breaking even.
I'm breaking even. I'm not losing money. But hopefully one day I will be able to pay myself a salary for doing this.
Yeah.
Because it's only the two of us and we don't have a lot of expenses apart from the mortgage. So we can get by on hobbies income.
Yeah.
No problem. So I don't have to, and that was really nice, because until I met hubby, I've been
The breadwinner.
the breadwinner in the family.
And he fully
So
supported your yarn dyeing too. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
he was because he's seen me try different jobs and be really tired and burnt out, and he was really happy that I actually could find something to do that I really loved and that I actually could make money on.
Mhm.
So he's been supportive all the time.
Yeah.
He's been supportive all along. So and I think he tries to push my yarn as well, because he has some colleagues that knit.
Oh,
So when I'm doing shop updates, and if I send him pictures of the yarn on Messenger while he's still at work,
he'll
he
show them.
shows them. See, pretty. So I think they're really traditional Norwegian knitters.
Mhm.
They knit the same sweaters as everybody else in Norway does, and they use Sandnes yarn because that's the only yarn you can use, apparently.
Oh,
Okay.
Knitting in Norway, we have a few sweaters that a few years back it was the Marius sweater. Everybody was knitting a Marius sweater.
I'm always behind on those trains.
And in Norway, we're really, really boring like that in Norway. I think everybody knits the same sweaters and everybody uses the same
I don't
yarn.
want to go outside of the box.
And yeah, and the price isn't a problem, because people can buy really expensive yarn if they're supposed to use a mohair or a really expensive yarn for that sweater, because they have to use that yarn for the sweater. You can't use anything else.
You can't substitute.
But it's starting to become better, and I have a few Norwegian subscribers, and I also have a few Norwegian customers. But it was natural for me to start a podcast in English because most of my customers were in the US and
Overseas.
Canada. So if I was going to communicate with my customers on YouTube, I had to speak English.
Mhm.
So that's why I started the podcast in English. And if you heard a cat, it was another different cat. Severus Snape, he has a tendency. He has a tendency to show up in my podcast.
He does.
Yeah. Sometimes you can only hear him, but the first time I changed locations and I had that
There. I remember he was
covered
walking behind
he
you.
was walking by me and just sitting there looking pretty. So he wanted to be a YouTuber too, apparently.
He's like, "Sup, mom?" Oh, this is fun.
I think I was the star of that video as well, because I got several comments of people didn't remember what I was talking about because they were so focused on the cat. Because cat, pretty.
Yep.
So looks really nice. So maybe we should go for a walk.
Well, this was fun. So I'm gonna below the video. I'm gonna link your shop, your podcast, and of course the gangster video.
and the festival.
All right, the
webpage.
festival. I got it all written down.
The festival webpage, and I'm not going to touch the cable again. I almost touched the cable.
It's like you just can't help it. Oh. You still want to record after, Liz, or no?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. I'm gonna log off so that this can convert. And
Yep.
message me if you want to record.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Bente.
Thank you.
I'll see you, ladies.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
I hit stop.
It didn't stop.